Hello, everybody, and welcome to our update on Tropical Storm ISAIAS here. This is a infrared imagery off of Go 16 CONUS view, so the imagery updates roughly every 5 minutes here, and you can see the loop over the past few hours there. The storm has gotten a lot more sheared, and dry air has gotten entrained into the storm, so that's why it doesn't look as good as it did last update I was talking to you guys from. That's why it looks not as good as it did earlier, and that's why it's called Tropical Storm Isaias now, not Hurricane Isaias anymore. It's because it's being sheared right now. And this burst of convection is not over the center, by the way. It's actually off center of the center to the northeast there. Um, uh, the center of circulation is actually right about where my mouse cursor is right there. So that big, deep, those big, deep bursts of convection there are off center there. Had these big bursts of convection been right over the center of circulation, we would have been talking about a completely different animal than we are right now. And hopefully this stays that way where the convection is off center from the actual center, and it doesn't try to pull a fast one on any of us and re-intensify any more than we want it to. Than it is right now. Here's the National Hurricane Center forecast cone for Tropical Storm Isaias here. This is from the Saturday, August 1st advisory as of 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time advisory 20 from the National Hurricane Center. The current location as of this update is 25.5 degrees north, 79.1 degrees west. Maximum sustained 1-minute winds are at 70 miles per hour, so it's a high-end tropical storm. And moving to the northwest at 9 miles per hour there. And here's the 3-day cone, so you can see these watches and warnings a lot more better there in detail. And the forecast cone has this storm just about literally about a mile away from hitting the Florida coastline there. And some models have it a little bit more east of the Florida coastline, and some of them have it making landfall on the Florida coastline, and some of them have it scraping the coastline, kind of doing a Matthew in a way. But of course, this is not going to be Matthew in any stretch of the way in terms of intensity. Matthew was pretty much, I think it was a Category 4 right about this point. At the point that Tropical Storm Isaias is right now, I believe it was a Category 4 hurricane. This, of course, is not a Category 4 hurricane by any means. It is a high-end tropical storm, however, which still means you need to be taking it seriously. This could have been a lot worse. But at this point in time, the National Hurricane Center are forecasting Isaias to brush the Florida coastline and re-intensify to a 75-mile-an-hour Category 1 hurricane before weakening back to a tropical storm before making landfall. If it doesn't make landfall over Florida, making a landfall in the Carolinas here either on Monday or Tuesday, depending on how far west or how far east the center of circulation is for Tropical Storm Isaias there. Here's the key messages for Tropical Storm Isaias here. You can stop the video right now. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but you can stop the video right now and get a gist of just a complete summary per se of the main things to look out for Tropical Storm Isaias here. And then here's the Spanish version as well. You can stop the video right now and read that for yourself if you want to. And there we go. In terms of other areas of interest throughout the globe here, in the North Atlantic at least, we have two other areas of interest. We have the remnants of it used to be a tropical depression 10 here is now no longer tropical depression 10. Now it's become the remnants of tropical depression 10, and it's no longer a tropical depression any longer. You can see tropical depression dissipates. This is the last National Hurricane Center advisory on this system. And as of that last update, as of 2 a.m. Cape Verde time, Sunday, August 2nd. You don't usually see Cape Verde time on there. The current location is at 19.5 degrees north, 25.0 degrees west, moving to the west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Minimum pressure is 1,009 millibars estimated, and maximum sustained 1-minute winds were estimated to be at 25 miles per hour. I'll briefly bring up the cone there. Nothing really interesting to see there. Thankfully, posed no threat at all to land, and poses no threat to land at all in the upcoming future here as the storm continues to decline here. So that's good news there. Here's the National Weather Service here. You can see other watches and warnings currently in effect for the southeast United States there. And here's rainbow IR imagery, again off of Go 16 here. And you can see this is pretty old imagery, so this stops when that big burst of convection starts to weaken and wane a little bit more. But this is before the most recent frame, so keep in mind that. But you can easily see what I was talking to you guys about earlier, how the storm barely looked classifiable at all there in the first 3 frames, and then bam, that big burst of convection fires near the center, not over the center, near the center. If it was over the center again, this would be a completely different ball game here than we are seeing right now. But if you were to tell me there was a Category 1 hurricane right here off the Florida coastline, man, I wouldn't believe you. That's incredible to see that happen in the North Atlantic here. But still a serious storm nonetheless, regardless of intensity here. I think it was Tropical Storm Gordon in 2018 made landfall as a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm, high-end tropical storm. I think in Mississippi or Alabama there, so still something to take seriously here. And then here's radar off of Miami here. You can see that's in our circulation right about where my mouse cursor is, wherever it's at now. There it is. Right about where my mouse cursor is, right about there is the center of circulation there. Don't pay attention to this big swirling mass of rain there. That's not the actual center. That's the convection to the northeast of the center there. That's not the actual center of circulation of Tropical Storm Isaias there, thankfully. If it was, that would be, again, a completely different ball game we're talking about there, if that was the case. Here's ensemble models as of 0 UTC this August 2nd here, 2020. And you can see for the most part the models have the storm either making landfall in Florida and coming back off of Florida and then making landfall in the Carolinas there, or just staying off the Florida coastline and then making the landfall off the Carolinas there. A landfall for the Carolinas almost seems certain at this point in time for, at that point, what will be Tropical Storm Isaias there. Here's a water vapor imagery of Tropical Storm Isaias here. And yeah, again, this is CONUS imagery off of Go 16 here, and you can see that big burst of convection quite easily there compared to its surroundings there. There's moisture all the way to its east, a little bit to its northeast, and a little bit to its southeast there. But once you go look at its west there, so that those darker areas of imagery there, that means that that means that that's dry air there, and it's not, of course, and that's not, of course, going to help with storm intensifying at any rate. At any rate, I mean, which is good. And then also what's currently going on in the Western Pacific. The Western Pacific finally woke up after its month-long slumber over July here. On the first day of August, we have two named storms here. We have Tropical Storm Sinlaku and Tropical Storm Hagupit there. Sinlaku is about to make landfall there over Vietnam if it hasn't already. And then Hagupit poses a threat to, I believe, Korea there. And let me go ahead and look at the warnings here really quickly for you guys. Again, Sinlaku, this is the warning for Sinlaku. Pretty big influence the storm has. And again, if it hasn't made landfall already, it's going to make one really soon over Vietnam there. And then here's Hagupit. This is the warning graphic for Hagupit. Poses a threat to northern Taiwan there, some of the Japanese islands there. I believe that's Isaikujima. I apologize for my pronunciation of that. I'm not good with Japanese. So I believe that's Isakujima there. And then they have it coming really close to Taiwan there and then making landfall in China and then making a secondary landfall as a tropical depression over the North Korea and South Korea border there later down the line there. So I believe that's pretty much about it. There's a recon there. Nothing much to really see on recon. It hasn't really updated yet. So I believe that's... Oh yeah, there's National Weather Service again. For official information on this storm and the other storms currently going on, please refer to your local officials and official agencies. For the Western Pacific, that being the Japan Meteorological Agency and then also the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. The JMA is the official basin. I mean, not official basin, but the official agency for the basin, I mean. But everybody uses the JTWC for 1 minute sustained wind estimations because the JMA always goes off of 10-minute sustained winds as compared to 1 minute sustained than that us in the United States use. So JTW always pay attention to the JMA and JTWC for official information. And then for the Atlantic Basin, for, of course, Tropical Storm Isaias is currently going on. Of course, listen to your local officials. If they tell you to evacuate. I'm sure they have shelters open right now and ready to go for you guys. If you guys are planning on riding this out in the shelter, if we don't deem the current location you're in safe enough to ride the storm out, I believe there are shelters currently being open or already open for you guys to get into. And then for official information for the United States for Tropical Storm ISAIAS, go to weather.gov or just type nws.gov or just type NWS and it'll probably be the first result on whatever search browser search engine you're using. Same goes to the National Hurricane Center. Just type up nhc.noaa.gov or just type nhc.gov or type NHC and it'll probably, like I said, the first search result on whatever search engine or web browser you're using. And of course, you'll know you're on the official site when you see all this information that you're seeing right now in front of your screen. And then same goes for the National Weather Service. You know you're on the official site, not a copy of the site when you see all this information for you. And then for local information on whatever area you're in, say you live in Southern Florida, click that for Southern Florida. This brings you to your Miami National Weather Service there. And say you live in, I don't know, say you live in Fort Lauderdale and you want to get the latest information on the storm, click Fort Lauderdale. And say you actually don't live in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, and also there's the 5-day graphical forecast, and below that there's the 7-day text forecast. And then here's also an hourly forecast as well too to plan your day out in advance as well if you're planning on evacuating or doing some really last minute preparations, which you should have done already. But if you want more accurate forecast, say you don't live in Fort Lauderdale, or you live in a small city nearby Fort Lauderdale, you could put in your zip code there, or you could put in whatever town name you're in or nearest to for local better information there. So I believe that's about it for me. Hope everybody has a great day now. You guys are stay safe. Of course, listen to your local officials and National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service for official information on these storms. There's going to be a lot of unfortunately false information going around with these. They always seem to some people always seem to spread false information, but keep yourself informed. Listen to official government sources and agencies, and you'll be safe. And I promise you, you'll get through this. I went through Hannah about a week ago, so I'm sure you'll get through this storm fine if you listen to your local officials and locals for the best information on this storm. So stay safe, everybody. Hope everybody has a great day. And I, guys, are stay safe, of course. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Peace.